grateful, Caitlin, that you introduced me to AOScan.
Yeah, me too.
So grateful.
Even though it was a little hard to get you on board at first. I remember like being so ecstatic the day I got my first scan from Juliana, and she was in Puerto Rico and I was in Southern California, and I thought there's no way I can get a full scan like that from that far away without, because I had the other bioresonance and I would have had to buy a hand cradle, ship it off to a client, which I was in the midst of learning how to do. I was like investing into that and figuring out how I could make it work because I wanted to help people who were finding me on Instagram in other states and other parts of the world. And then she comes along and this technology where all she does is put in my info and runs a scan for me, and it showed the mold that I was dealing with, and it helped my emotions, and it showed everything that was going on in my body that I knew was going on, and it wowed me. And it was like not only a bioresonance scan to see like, hey, yeah, that's what's going on, but it optimizes you. And I remember feeling a detox from it, feeling like, whoa, this did something to me, even though it was from way over in Puerto Rico. And I got a question, actually, I think it was yesterday from one of our new QLAs. She asked, so does my son need to be in the room when I do a scan? And the answer is no. Your son could be in China and you could be in New Zealand, and the scan will go to him and work for him. And there's no like crazy expensive equipment or things you have to go through. So, anyways, that was the start. And now it's just Solex has grown, we have grown. It's pretty
Yeah.
incredible.
And I just want to say the start really was when you had Lyme disease the first, back in
Yeah.
2008. And we started doing bioresonance, biofeedback, and you became well. Your body was able to heal itself
Yeah.
using frequency without any medical intervention. And, to go from your fingers being curled to getting paid $75 an hour playing the piano, to
Mm-hmm.
go from not being able to lift your arm above your head, tachycardia, to free
Swim
birthing
team
a baby,
in
swim
high
team.
school.
Oh yeah, yeah, swim team.
Yeah. And then, I think everyone on this probably knows about all the toxins we're bombarded with all the time. So, just the gist of my story is I got extremely ill when I was just turned 13 years old. And then through the power of holistic and alternative medicine, got well and was able to go to high school, be on swim team, lived a normal life up until my very early 20s, till I was 20 years old. And there was a lot of things that happened in my life. I was just talking to my parents the other day. I was like, what if the cockroach poison in Hawaii when I moved into that apartment, what if that had something to do with it? I didn't know. I didn't think about, oh, maybe there's that could affect my nervous system. Or I lived in a moldy apartment with my roommates, and I remember like having my whole wall being torn apart while I lived in that room. And having these guys come in and like dry out the wall and the whole floor underneath me. Anyways, so long story short, I ended up getting really, really sick again in my early 20s. And that was a totally new way of, feeling. I had never dealt with tremors and wondering if I had early onset Parkinson's and dealing with so many intense things that I dove deeper into all of this to find answers again, to find answers that were deeper because I was now an adult trying to run a business, trying to pay rent, trying to live my life, and was totally debilitated. So all of this is what's changed our lives.
So amazing. It's like it's just amazing. I mean,
Yeah.
you're amazing. God is amazing. Um, yeah, I remember that Thanksgiving, and let's get into the PowerPoint, but that
Yeah.
that Thanksgiving in 2016, was it? I don't
Yeah.
know.
That's the
2016?
year I met Steven. I was pretty sick then. So,
Wow. And you were collapsing and tremoring on Coronado Island because we were out to
oh,
dinner.
yeah.
And I
Oh,
said, we got
yeah.
to call
Thought I had a
911.
seizure or a stroke. Maybe I thought I had a stroke.
And you
I think it was the
recovered.
whole side of my body stopped working. Yeah, that was a little scary.
That was scary for all of us to
Yeah,
see that. And then you said, no, do not call 911. Do not. I can heal from this. And I'm like, yes, you can. You've
yeah,
healed from these things before. But it led us further, deeper in, deeper in, deeper in. We truly feel like, and even in the last couple weeks, we are healing deeper. And we want to share with you guys everything we're learning. So thank you for joining us. That's our introduction. We have, because of your journey, Katelyn, and your willingness to fight, I've seen people not willing to fight for their health.
And
Who,
your willingness to fight for me
yeah,
as my mom. I've seen so many moms who have not fought for their children.
yeah.
That was one of the biggest frustrating things for me in my practice was seeing the moms not fight for their kids and accept that they were sick. I thought my mom didn't do that. I need to teach people how to fight, whether it's for yourself, for your family, for your kids. So, thank you.
I love you so much. And
I
now
love
thank
you
you
too.
all for being on here and just letting us share.
Yes.
So let's pull up the PowerPoint if I can here. I think it will work. Maybe not. Let's see. What do you guys think? Stop that.
We got it.
We got it. Okay, Katelyn, you got to talk a minute. I should have had this ready.
Well, we're going to
So,
dive into the AO scan technology, which if you weren't here when we first started talking, it's what's changed my life so much. I mean, I had already built a successful in-person practice through being sick, which I had this drive to find what would work for me and my clients. There we go. Um, and I had already invested thousands and thousands of dollars into my practice and then found this simple thing. Um, Dad says your volume needs to go up a little bit, Mom. Or should I turn
okay.
mine down?
Nope, it's okay. Maybe I'll hold the
Um,
microphone closer. Does
oh
that
yeah,
help?
that's better. Yeah.
Okay.
And
So,
then we came across this, and so now we're going to share it with you
yeah, the AO scan is unlike, it's unmatchable compared to all the technologies we've used over the years
and
to
everything that's out there.
absolutely. And the feeling of this company is I love that it is parents. You know, if you look at Lauren and if you look at Kai and Shelby, it is a group of parents who were looking for answers for their children and were not satisfied with the status quo. They were not satisfied with the answers that our system here in America, the sick care system. We had a friend over last night and he was calling it the what did he call it? The medication system. It's like another med for this, a med for that. And I'm so proud of him. He retired from the Navy and he's not on any medications. And I'm just
Wow.
super grateful for that. I'm meeting more and more people who care about their health and wellness. I gotta set that down. But yeah, thank you, Katelyn. And you guys heard our story. Kai and Shelby. Do you want to say anything about Kai, Shelby, our company, Lauren?
Just, you know, we talked about this last week, how when you get to meet the creators of this, the CEO, Kai right there in the middle, in between my mom, Debbie, and Shelby, and then there's me and my little baby. He is the CEO, and when you get to meet him, you feel how much he cares for each individual person. And this is a really like growing company. There's a lot of people that go to these events. There was a lot of people who earned the cruise, and he was there, Shelby too, and Lauren, all of them, and even Lauren's wife, one on one with each person with this total care in their heart for each of us. And it's been through and through. We've met them so many times now. We've been flown out to Utah to speak for Solex, and you feel their heart and their frequency and their energy, and you feel it, and it's there. I mean, I hope you can feel our heart through the screen. I hope you can feel what we believe, and how much we care for you just through our Instagram. I mean, that's, I know our heart is to try to show that, and that's why we share this every day. But it's so incredible to get to pair with a company to, you know, link arms with people who also have the same vision. And I didn't
And
feel that in other companies. I didn't feel that in conferences I went to learn about supplements and to learn about health and to learn about all the certifications I've taken. I never felt it like this before. So,
it's so true. It's so true. So many conferences we went to, and we're just like, oh, we just got to get, let's go back to our room, where we
yeah,
can just be in our, it starts at the quantum level, the
yeah,
frequency. Like we know the energy in the heart is measurable and
you
um,
can feel it.
you can feel it. So let's see if we can get to the next screen. There we go. This isn't anything really new, right?
Mm-mm.
Because Albert Einstein, Raymond Reich. One of the first technologies I learned about when Caitlin was fighting Lyme disease was Rife machines. And I am thankful we didn't go down that route with harsh Rife machines. Now we have these Rife frequencies in the AO scan. So I love that. But the Rife machines are designed to like kill and implode and destroy, but we're I love what Solix does is we look at subtle energy frequencies using those documented frequencies, but helping the body be able to detox gently. And that's
Hmm.
really huge versus harsh things.
Yeah.
um
Gently bringing our body back to homeostasis because guess what? The body was actually made and designed to repair itself. When you get a cut, when you get a burn, when you're a kid and you skin your knees, no matter what, when you get an injury, your body was made to start knitting itself back together. Your body was made to restore. Your body was also made to kick pathogens out and to kick things out of the body that aren't supposed to be there, like toxins. So when we can support the body in what it's actually supposed to do, it'll do all the things that people say you need to do, like, like get really aggressive with intense technology like the Rife. What if we can just focus on the terrain and get back into balance? It also feels a lot better that way instead of, doing some harsh detoxing.
the terrain theory, yeah,
Hmm.
we totally believe in that. So this company was started by Lawrence Swenson over 40 years ago. He adopted a son with cerebral palsy, and he traveled the world, like we were saying, looking for answers. He traveled the world. I just called everyone. I was like, who do you know who had debilitating Lyme disease? What did they do? How are they better? Looking for answers. And I really believe that's what God led us to these answers. Lauren did the same thing, and thankfully, he created this amazing thing called a theta chamber, and which eventually led us to having the AO scan now in our hands. No longer 38,000 for the AO scan, no longer 78,000 for the theta chamber. We can have it for with everything. It's under 6,000, I think, with
Hmm.
the everything in the theta chamber.
Yeah, it's incredible. So the AOScan technology, it's it's not a diagnostic tool, and but it is already medicine that we see in the medical field. So frequency-based medical technologies have already changed what we see. We see MRIs, we see ultrasounds, we see EEGs, TMS. We now have RTMS actually in Solex that you can purchase, which is really cool for brain healing. Um, we want to take the woo-woo out of this. Just because this sounds crazy, the AOScan technology has been around for, has it been 40 plus years now? This technology, it's used in, I'm blanking on what it's
Yeah.
used in. It's used in a
Well,
lot of high things.
high-end wellness centers, hospitals in Asia. Um,
Yes.
because of 2020, what happened then, I'm so grateful that we no longer have to be the elite. We no longer have to invest in going to a high-end wellness center. We're bringing it home. They
Yes.
saw people who did purchase these technologies were having difficulty getting their clients to come in to the wellness center because people were afraid. So they said, can you make this, Lauren? Can you? And brilliantly, he made it mobile. He made it available to us. So I love that the AO scan is unique in that it's educational and teaches us how your body is performing. We encourage people, if you're a hypochondriac, don't look at your report until you truly understand quantum, that we are
Yes.
actually picking up bioenergetic frequencies that are communicating of identifying what's out of balance, so we can either make lifestyle changes to get them back in balance, or even just use our inner voice or use some of the things in the AO scan like your Cepheid dots or your tuning fork frequencies, or go get on your mat. We can see what things we can do to help us find more balance. The AO scan is simple. It's so easy to use. You do not need to be a practitioner like we.
Mm-mm.
You do not need that. Just go through the training with Solex and through Katelyn's amazing training as part of our
And
team.
that's one of the biggest things I think people feel a little overwhelmed by when they first start learning about this is, wow, there's so much to the AO scan. how am I ever going to learn this all? How am I going to understand this? And I want to just tell you right now, when you get your subscription and you log in and you start using it, it is immediately a quantum treatment for your body. This is like going to, like you said, a high-end quantum wellness center and looking at your body from head to toe, every cell, every mitochondria, your DNA, and optimizing it. So you now will be able to have this in your hands to optimize your body at the touch of a button every single day, multiple times a day. And then when you are feeling something, like if you know I have lymphatic stagnation, it's super simple and easy to go in and find frequencies for the lymphatic system and just run them, and literally they'll go right to your body and support your lymphatic system. So it is simple. The biggest thing I hear is, wow, this is so user friendly compared to anything else I've used.
So much easier. And so let's just dive into it. When you're talking about being able to go into, it's basically like each little section in the AO scan is a wellness room. The quick scans, one wellness room in your wellness center. The inner voice, the vitals. When we're going to talk about each one of these just really briefly to give you an overview. Um, but to have this is phenomenal. Do you want to, should we just go right into these?
Yeah, let's just dive in.
Okay, so quick scan is using sound harmonizing technique that generates audio frequencies to balance the emotional state of the user, provides colors and musical tones. Uh, oh my goodness, I got to talk about that because when you do a quick scan or your inner voice or easy scan, you're going to get chromotherapy suggestions. When I was finding parents who were helping their kids recover from autism, one of the things they used was chromotherapy, and their glasses were $2,000. And the
Mm,
next 6 months they went in, the child needed a new color. For us to have all of these colors, 12 of them in one of your bundles, you're going to love it because you're going to be able to use these and find out every day what you should use. I
yeah.
love quick
Should I
scan.
show those really quick?
Yeah, let's highlight, let's
Just
show
go
you.
to
Yeah.
our, yeah, perfect.
Okay.
So you get like, my baby plays with these a lot. She loves them and she likes to hold them up to her eyes. I can't really put them on great right now with the headset, but you get a pair of the glasses and then you get your whole set. And you just look at your emotional report to see which ones you need, and they just snap on super easily like that. And you go ahead and wear them either while you're listening to your tones while you're going about your day, because these are going to actually help bring balance. I love how Dr. Darrell says the colors and the music are the medicine for what your body needs. Because when you look at your inner voice reports, it's going to have connections like parasites and toxins and ligaments and joints and all the different things. So then when you go in with your color therapy and you go in with your tones, your sound therapy, you are coming at this in such a powerful way, and you're gonna feel the shifts. Do you have anything
I
to add
I
about
love it.
these?
Yeah, because I forgot to add on that list of things. Hello AO. In just 10 seconds, you can get what color therapy. There's the ones right there. The high note is orange, red orange, orange, and the low note is red orange. So you can try either one of these and see which one you resonate with best. Sometimes I'll put one on and I don't want to take them off. It's
Yeah.
like such a relief to my brain. And you'll find us after sundown. I'm wearing usually yellow, orange, red after sundown.
Mm-hmm.
So this is super fast you can do. And Hello AO is similar to Quick Scan, but even faster. And I can see what supplements we need. So, and then imprint those, which we'll go into.
And you would literally hold up like your little Solex shot glass of water to that screen to imprint exactly what you need, or your little pellets, or your Cephi dots,
Yep.
or your bracelet. You could just hold your wrist up to the screen and press start, and it will infuse the exact frequencies your body needs in that moment in time to benefit you. It is, this is next level. I still, we're almost 4 years into this. I think in July it'll be 4 years for me. It still feels crazy. It still feels like, how do we have this? How do I have this technology? Doesn't it? It's like,
Amazing.
it's incredible.
It's incredible. It's unmatchable. I'm so grateful for it. Um, yeah. okay, so the AOI, mm,
A quick
my
scan.
screen isn't sharing.
That's okay.
Okay, let's see if it
Um, yeah, but and I know last week we kind of talked about how you can use Cephi in so many ways. Like you can take your transducers and run the frequency. Like if I wanted to take the frequency for thyroid and just hold it over my thyroid and do that every day, that's putting the frequency for a healthy thyroid or thyroid detox or whichever frequency you choose or your throat chakra and put it right there over the body. And people ask
amazing.
me all the time how to use these. Um, when you go through stuff, you're going to see there's hundreds and hundreds of frequencies to choose from. Anything from looking up categories of homeopathics where you can find, the one I use the most is children remedies for pain. And it gives
Mm.
you a list. And because my baby's, she's got molars coming in right now, they're poking through. And so that's really uncomfortable for a baby. And so when I turn on those, I can tell when they turn off, like if I have to go do something else on the device I'm using and they turn off, she will let me know. And then I turn them back on and we are good to go.
I love it. So let's go ahead and try to share this PowerPoint again.
Yay.
Um, I think it's quick scan is phenomenal, like we're just talking about it, and also adding in that they added in
Hello, AO,
hello
which
AO.
just gives you, when you're on a time crunch and you are going to work or you have a lot to do in your day or you have a lot of kids, you can still get your benefits of using the AO scan really quickly, even though doing an easy scan only takes you 6 minutes. So, I mean, it's really made to be simple and easy to fit into your day with maximum benefit.
Yeah, Easy Scan is probably the most popular scan because it includes 4 scans: quick scan, inner voice, vitals, and comprehensive scans. And I think it might take 7 minutes now because they added in more things, but it used to take 6 minutes and they just keep adding more. The beautiful thing about this subscription is they're going to keep the price $149, even when we started 4 years ago, they've added more and more things to the AO scan,
Hmm.
and they will not charge us more.
Yeah,
The
it
other,
was so cool to hear Kai talk about that when we were at lunch with Kai and Shelby, and they were like, even when this starts costing us money to keep it at that price, we will keep it at that price. Which is just, you never hear that from a company. And you'll see in the course that I made for you, when you sign up on our team, you get multiple courses. If you're a QLA, if you're a preferred customer, you get my beginner's guide to the AO scan, which is really full of a lot. And you're going to see in there, I tell you, do your easy scan every day. No matter what you do your easy scan and listen to your inner voice.
and when you see your Easy Scan, it's going to immediately give your client or yourself or your family the homeopathic remedies that you just saw in the quick scan or the Hello AO. So several ways you can get remedies super quickly. That's one is Easy Scan. And then you can email those remedies to your patient, to your client, to your
Yes,
family.
which
And
is
I
so cool because they can pull up that email and they can press imprint and imprint their water or whatever they want.
Unbelievable. So in that easy scan, it will also do inner voice, or you can do inner voice separately. This is something we hear Lauren saying is the most powerful part of the AO scan, the most
Hmm.
important thing. We know that when Katelyn was rear-ended and all the things she's had in her life, one was being rear-ended in 2019 on Highway 5, and the the PTSD of driving. I would
Hmm.
need to drive her places. She wouldn't remember where we were. Um, Her husband, it was just a lot. So this,
Yeah.
I referred her to one of our friends who is a doctor of psychology,
Ch-
psychologist,
Psychologist.
and she did sound therapy there in addition to
Hmm.
talk therapy. And Caitlin's like, we got to get the whole family to go here. This is amazing. It's only $275 per appointment.
Yeah.
Unbelievable that when this came along and the whole family can do that dream of sound therapy every day for
Yeah.
$149 a month, as many times as we want. This is phenomenal.
Yeah. I think I did the math one time. It's been a long time, but I tried doing the math of how much I'd be spending a month if I were to go see her as much as I use my inner voice. It was crazy. It was like I could buy a house. Mm,
I believe it. So it just really helps. I know with the inner voice, it's so powerful. I've had people, their blood pressure, they can measure, do measurable things. Check your heart rate, check your blood pressure, check things to see, be your own health detective. We want you to see. Some people will say, "Oh, I don't feel anything, but I'm more relaxed." That's huge. Did you guys know that stress causes illness? Stress
mhm,
causes disease. So if even all it's doing is just helping you find that homeostasis and being able to calm that autonomic nervous system, help it be more
mhm.
balanced.
And I saw that in the emotion code. It with how trapped emotions affect everyone, whether it's keeping you in chronic stress, chronic disease, pain. Dr. Bradley Nelson talks about how up to 90% of pain is tied to trapped emotions. When we can target the emotional side of things, just like Deb Bruce says, that is the cause of the cause of the cause. And so I don't want anyone to ever feel scared when they see their vitals or their comprehensive scan and say, oh my goodness, everything's out of balance. Keep listening to your inner voice. Keep getting to that emotional root because it's not just your emotions, it's your parents, how they imprinted their emotions on you from the time of conception to your 7 and even your whole life, your inherited trapped emotions from your ancestors. And when this all comes together and you can identify and release those emotional imbalances simply by listening to sound therapy, not even having to go to a practitioner. I love my practitioners, I love the emotion code, but this just made it so much more simple. I gave up my whole practice, emotion code, body code practice, so I could
Mm,
just share this because it's so powerful to have this in your hands.
yeah. I love it. So we're going to the next button, which is vitals, which is the next wellness room, which I remember when Katelyn had these symptoms of Lyme disease, and I believed it probably was, given that we were in Minnesota in June. We had all gotten bit by ticks, and within 6 months, she was having trouble lifting her arm above her head. She had tachycardia, enlarged spleen, difficulty walking, but no one seemed to be able to figure out what it was. When we went to the lab core, I asked, when we went in and they took out 12 vials of blood, I said, well, can't you just test for everything? Just test for everything so we can figure this out. This is terrible. She's gotten worse and worse over 6 months. And we've been to Shiley Eye Center, the Children's Hospital, pediatricians, chiropractors, acupuncturists. I was really on this journey to find what was wrong. They said, "Oh my goodness, look at this catalog. Look at this catalog of things we need to test for. If we were to test for everything, there's not enough blood in her body. There's not enough blood in your daughter's body to test for everything."
Hmm.
That was such an eye opener. And now we're able to energetically test, I think it's well over 550 blueprint frequencies now with
Yeah,
vitals in seconds. Um,
they
the
just keep
blood
adding more things.
and to see it in real time. When we
Hmm.
take blood out of the body, it's exposed to air. So we're catching things energetically and then also nudging them energetically to balance. So it's not just a scan, it's actually just helping push the body
And
gently.
before things manifest physically. So that's kind of the paradigm shift we have to have is what if we can see what's going on in the body before it's turned into symptoms, before it's turned into something really bad, before it's turned into what would show up in the blood work. And I know a lot of people will show like, they'll go get lab work to show like, oh wow, this showed up too, and they'll compare things. But um, so much of the time, this is really helping set yourself up for success in the future.
Yeah. And it feels like the more things we're doing to help our body, the less on that last screenshot, we saw parasites and bacteria and but we see less of those things popping up the more things we're doing that are helping our body balance. But I also want to say a book I read called The Dirt Cure talked about we don't just want to go in and kill an employee, let's say H. pylori.
Hmm.
We need it to be in balance because if we just go kill H. pylori, then other cancers get a chance to come. So it's not about killing, 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 killing. It's finding homeostasis. I think
Yeah. And
In
I
other
did a
words,
video on this,
mhm,
talking about the terrain theory, which it's on our YouTube, on my YouTube, which if you're not familiar with that, that's a great thing to watch. Um, but let's dive into the body system scan. So this scan is my favorite. Whenever I actually want to look at what's going on in my reports, I pull this up and I do a body system scan. This is where I suggest everyone goes when they're like wanting to dig in, like, what am I looking at going on in my body? Because it's a lot to see, hundreds and hundreds of things in and out of balance. It's like, whoa, it can make a practitioner's brain go nerding out and super excited. But for most of us, like even myself, even though I was a practitioner, I don't really want to see all of that all the time. So I go into body systems and it's going to look at all the systems of the body: circulation, urinary, connective tissue, digestion, endocrine, lymphatic, muscles, nervous system, respiratory, all of it. And it's even going to do a hormone panel and a chemistry scan. So, what I like to do is go in and see all these different reports and just look at ways to balance, ways to
yeah,
improve your frequency statistics. And so that's actually action steps you can take for your body. So I look at all of them and see where's the pattern. Does it tell me that I need to do daily stretching in multiple of these? That's a key. My whole body's going to benefit from stretching every day. It's got a whole bunch of options of things that you can do, and you can look, it's all tailored to you. Then you can go into the hormone panel, and it's so simple to read because it's in bold if it's out of balance. So you can just look at it and see, oh, okay, a couple things. And then you can go into your chemistry scan, which is taking everything we did in your vitals and just giving you a snapshot. This is green, green arrow up. This is not good. Red arrow down, or red arrow up. It'll show you what's out of balance. Super simple. So it's not like you're having to decode anything. It's just telling you what's going on in the chemistry in your body.
yeah, with body systems, like she was saying, you can actually see what hormones are out of balance. And we look for doing the body system scan, especially the hormone scan. You can do it 3 times a day for 3 days to look at your baseline, and then do it like once a week or once a month, whatever you have time for. But every time we do a body system scan, it's not just scanning, it's not just giving us suggestions, it's helping nudge all those areas to balance. So
Hmm.
each scan is super powerful.
And
Um,
I mean, to be able to support your hormones like that, look at how I feel like every woman I have talked to in the last however many years of being a practitioner has hormone imbalances. To be able to nudge those hormones back energetically is so powerful, such an incredible tool to have.
I love that with all the things we're doing, even though we had 3 of us, went to my girls, going through their stuff, we didn't have those PMS symptoms and things that a lot of other people had. And going through, menopause at age 55, almost 56, I feel so good. And I know it's all energy. It's not just chemistry. When we look at chemical answers to things, look at chemistry. It's break it down into the energy that makes up those
Yeah, we are
chemistry.
99.99999% energy. So it's such a huge piece. I mean, it's the biggest piece. And that's not to say, you shouldn't have a clean diet and you shouldn't do physical things, but we have to start at the what we're made up of, a solid foundation.
Do you want to demo anything with this? Should I share the screen or should we just keep going? We're kind of,
Let's just keep going. We're talking
yeah,
a lot.
we are talking a lot. Okay. The SEFI, subtle energy frequencies. People have been asking me, how in the world are you sending these frequencies? So let's first talk about imprinting them. When you have your AOScan subscription, whether you're using your computer, your tablet, your cell phone, however you're connecting to the internet to use your AOScan, you're going to be able to use that to put the frequency imprint is the best word, imprint the frequencies into sugar pellets, Cephi dots, your water, your food, Cyben jewelry, so that it can drain into your body these frequencies to help you balance, whether it's quantum flowers, the homeopathic remedies, the energy homeoenergetics category, which is when you see something like Lyme detox, it's not just for, Lyme, Babesia, Borrelia. but it's also the frequency of the herbs and remedies to help the body be able to drain and detox without um, causing a Herxheimer reaction, which is a healing crisis. I love
Hmm.
that we have essential oil frequencies, essential mineral, our AO minerals, which is phenomenal. You can scan to see which minerals in seconds you're low in, and then imprint that frequency. And I was thinking about how Lauren described like an apple. If we were to use Seppi and imprint, like transfer the frequency of an apple into maybe a Seppi dot or into our water, it allows us when we do eat the apple, since there's not really we're not, when we get the frequency, it's not the physical apple. When we do eat the apple, it notifies the body how to use those minerals, how to
Hmm.
use the nutrients in it. And the
More
same thing with
beneficial.
far more beneficial. Same thing with the oils and minerals, so that when we do use these things, they're even more beneficial to our body.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
Steffi.
And it has saved us in so many situations. I know, um, when I was first going, getting used to all of this and using it, and I had been living in a apartment that was moldy for probably the second or third time in my adult life, not knowing, I would get really nauseous. And running an easy scan and then selecting frequencies of nausea would get rid of it so fast. And I mean, I've seen it take away a cold in my husband overnight. I've seen it, like, it does not cure, treat, prevent, diagnose. I cannot make claims that this is healing, but wow, when you start using frequency and you see things shift, it is incredible. And not everything is overnight. A lot of people do. I get texts all the time. Like, I put the Cephi dot on my grandma and her pain went away. I did this, I did that. My allergies are gone, my whatever. Sometimes it takes time too. So I always encourage people, like, give this a solid 3 months. Whenever you're going to add in something new, give it a solid 3 months and be consistent and watch what happens. Just like if you were to take a new supplement, you would need to give that supplement time to build up and, get in your body and replace what's been missing. Same thing with frequency. We want to give adequate time to really give it a fair shot.
Yes, I love that. And the testimonies I've had are what convinced me to share the AO scan. I was already happy with my life and what I was doing, but I scanned and optimized over 100 people before I started truly sharing the AO scan. One of the testimonies was with a young boy who had fractured his shoulder on the day after Thanksgiving. And they had really good water, really good essential oils. They had really good things in their home to help him. They went for prayer. And on Monday after Thanksgiving, I said, do you mind if I just go ahead and do an easy scan and send frequencies for broken bone, Arnica Montana, like a playlist, which we teach about. And the next day, this young boy, he listened to his tones. He loved the tones. They helped him with his pain, just the inner voice tones. But I also at the same time was sending like scalar waves. So the easiest way for me to describe it is we know that in the Middle East, they're like shooting down different rockets that are coming in using scalar waves, but they're really higher frequencies and harsher waveforms. We're just using very subtle energy frequencies. So the young boy was the target on my AO scan, and I was sending these frequencies to nudge him and say, hey, let's knock that out. Let's help get your body to heal itself. And the next day he jumped on a trampoline. The next day his mom called me, so Wednesday, and said, oh my goodness, he had no pain, he's not flinching. What did you just do? And I said, well, come to my house. I don't believe this myself. So Friday, a week after his fracture, he said, oh, if I put my arm way back here, I can feel a little bit of something going on. His parents, his dad's a nurse, his mom's into health and wellness, they were blown away. And that really was my excitement that I really want to share. And it's Cephi. Cephi is so powerful. I've seen it. I've helped horses. I've helped people with so many things because they're documented frequencies. We
Yeah.
know that the eyeball has a certain frequency. So when my friend said, I'm scared, blah, 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 I sent frequencies and then it's amazing. So you've got to use
Yeah.
Cephi. Cephi is So
And
powerful.
animals don't lie. Like when we see this transforming animals, people's chickens, people's dogs, people's cats, people's horses. When I got to see Tammy at Costco and she was talking about how she's helping horses, it's like, that's so cool. It's the coolest thing ever. Because there's no like placebo. They don't know what you're doing.
Children, babies, it's those of us who are
Babies.
older who try to figure it out. Well, it could have been this or this. No. Use your
Yeah.
AO scan, use your frequencies and mind sync. Was such a
Mm.
great addition to the
This
AO
is my
scan.
favorite. This is when you talk about wanting to change your life and create a life that you love, you have to go back to the subconscious mind. And even when you want to heal from something chronic, you have to look at the subconscious mind. That's what I learned when I did my emotion code and body code and belief code certifications is everything's stored back in our subconscious mind, and that's controlling over 95% of your reality. Your intelligence is the bulk of it is in your subconscious, which you don't have conscious control over. You can't say, I'm going to be a millionaire tomorrow and make that happen with your conscious decisions. You can't say, I'm going to walk tomorrow if I can't walk with your conscious decisions. It's all in the subconscious. So, what we have here is a way to reprogram your subconscious mind without having to schedule hypnosis sessions or work with a practitioner week after week after week, or write out thousands of affirmations and journal and go crazy with really working hard to change your subconscious beliefs. Because you can. It's really hard though, because there's this barrier that fights it. When you try to say affirmations and look at your vision board and envision yourself well and healed and changed, things fight it. Your thoughts, your subconscious beliefs, your past, things that have been, passed down generation after generation will fight those that
Yes.
every will in you to change. You can have the greatest will to change ever out of anyone in the whole world, but your subconscious will fight it. So
Yeah.
we have this technology where you can record affirmations because we know affirmations are powerful. They're very important. There's studies on this, but it's going to take the powerful sound of your voice and change the frequency so that when you listen to it back, it's binaural concepts and you're going to feel it right in the center of your brain. And it is going to bypass that barrier. It's going to actually engage both sides of your brain. It's going to reprogram your subconscious mind. And I remember when we were at lunch with Kai and Shelby, and they were like, have you guys noticed anything with mind sync? And I was like, you mean how you hear your affirmations over and over and over for days after? And they were like, yeah, everyone's saying that. It's so cool. Like, you really do program your life in a different way with this. And I remember, you can interrupt me anytime, but when they first launched this, we didn't have this when we first started the AO scan. And so my biggest transformation started with inner voice and Sephi and the scans. But then when they launched MindSync, I remember crying in the airport at how much this shifted things. And right after I started doing my MindSync is when my Instagram started blowing up. That's when everything shifted. That's when I was able to go virtual. That's when I went all in on SolX. That's when things
Mm.
really changed in my life. Because I had done a lot of subconscious work. I learned about the subconscious mind. I was obsessed with the subconscious mind. I released trapped emotions. I reprogrammed limiting beliefs. This is next level. This is what the whole self-development world is missing and desperately needs.
Yeah. And
So I hope you get,
I love that. And it's really, for those of us who are believers too, it's really scriptural too to retrain, think
yes.
about things that are lovely and pure and of good report, things that are worthy of praise. And we need to speak those things. And I like using scripture and affirmations from what God says, who I am, not who I think I am because of what someone else said to me. So it's very
Mm-hmm.
powerful to help us grow in our faith but when you even take this to the next level, this is included with your $149 subscription. If you want to take it to the highest level is getting the AO Hub and
Mm-hmm.
doing the AO Mind Sync through the AO Hub, which is sound, light, microcurrent, speaking your affirmations with your inner voice behind it, and you're truly creating new neural pathways instead of like throwing a ball to someone and nobody catches it right and left side of the brain. You're actually throwing it and there's a catcher. And then we throw back and forth and back and forth. So the next time there's an issue that would normally make you panic or scared or, go back to alcohol or something, you have a new pathway and that
Mhm.
becomes the normal. And it is important to do it every single day. I love
Mhm.
that you taught me to do this and not just for abundance, but the other thing was Lyme disease. One of the
Mhm.
biggest problems with people with Lyme disease or
Or
cancer
any disease.
or even coming out of the military. I know my friends want to help people who are coming out of military because their mindset is different. We got to train it. Okay, this is the new normal.
Mhm.
Success in new areas and abundance in new areas. And it's okay. Yeah, we
And with
could
the
go on.
hub, don't they say it even like it really dissolves those old neural pathways so it can create the new ones? So it's really creating that new way of life instead of still having that old pathway that you could easily revert back to. It's like, nope, that's gone. We have a new way to go. It's like putting yourself on a whole new path. There's now a block. You can't go down the old way. And that's what's so powerful. And yeah. I mean, and
Yeah,
I wrote a whole free ebook that anyone can get about how all of this is so many people get worried that this is new age or this is goes against their belief system. And it really does not. This is how our bodies were made. And so I break down the science of that in this ebook. It's over 130 pages, but it's, a quick, easy read, but it will help you see how this is, I believe, how we were designed.
yeah, I love it. So I want to talk about pets again. You said you ran into Tammy at Costco. When
Yes.
I brought her the AO scan and we saw a dog, she rescues horses, she rescues dogs. We saw a dog that had been hmm, pretty agitated, like he was kind of snarling in a kennel. And we did the scan, the pet scan, super easy. And we saw him starting to lick his lips, playing the tones for him.
Oh,
That night, she played fetch with him for the first time since she'd rescued him because he had been terribly abused across the border. Um, the horses. She will optimize her horses till they're all balanced. She spends time every day. And do you know how she saves so much money on vet bills? She has the best water for them. She has the best the tones, the balancing frequencies. You've got to get this. If you have a pet, you need the AO scan. You need the
yeah.
AO scan so you can really see who your pet is. So that I think our friends were saying they have their grand dog with them, and just doing the AO scan was truly changing them. So what are you waiting for? Join us. We gotta.
Yes.
I love this thing. I'm so thankful Katelyn brought it to our lives through Juliana, who's pictured here, and we're super grateful.
Yes. Yeah. It's so incredible. So yeah, if anyone has any questions, go ahead and throw them in the Q&A. I think we've covered pretty much everything. And of course, message whoever invited you to watch this, whether you found this through a link on Instagram, someone you follow, or someone texted this to you, go to the person who invited you, and they will have a link and they will have every answer to every question you could possibly have. Um, because this is the next step I think everyone needs on their healing journey and their personal development journey. What we have here on the screen is your two options for joining, whether you want to join us in the business side of this, which would be becoming a quantum living advocate and joining our team, which I encourage everyone to do because once you start using this, it is really hard to keep your mouth shut. Once you see the benefits, you're like, I want to scan you. You're like Oprah. You get a scan and you get a scan. Everyone gets a scan because it changes lives. I find myself offering, can I make you some sound therapy? Can I do a scan for you? Can I send you frequencies whenever I'm in person with people because it's so transformative and it really helps people in the moment. Your other option is to be a preferred customer. You'll get the same discount. You'll get our same support. You get my course. But being a QLA, I think, is the best.
It's absolutely amazing, and I'm so thankful that we are quantum living advocates because if you're like me, which I know you are because you're on here, you want to help other people. If you're like Caitlin and I. So if you don't want to help them with this, why? Why not? We have it. She's made it so duplicatable. that you can just send them the course and send them that, they can easily, use this $38,000 device that's $149 a month and have access to it. We always like you to look at the bundles because they're only available the first time. So if it's been over a year since you've done AO scan, if you're new or if you're coming back in and you're like, wow, there's so many new upgrades, I believe it's easier. You can use it from your tablet, from your iPhone, from your computer. There are bundles that are available for first time when you first time order,
Hmm.
and they're really helpful. Um, there are red lights and bone conducting headsets, and be sure you tell the person that you're signing up with, and we're here to help you.
Hmm.
But we're excited for you to get started. Once you
Yeah.
have your subscription, you get a preferred pricing on all of the wellness center items that we have, whether it's the AO Infinity mat, the AO Infinity wand, foot detox, any of our supplements that are nanotechnology. Um, we're super excited about it. And
Yes.
I had to bring in today my mask, which when we stop sharing the screen, I'll show you. But to have the ability to do infrared, red light and green light and blue light with a mask to help us is phenomenal. Oh,
And not
I love
just
this thing.
any infrared, it's
Mm,
1064 and 850, 810. One of those that will actually, so most masks or red light products on the market, they don't penetrate very deep into the body, but when you use this mask, it has the infrared, so it'll penetrate through your skull, so it'll benefit your brain too. Hair growth. Um, so I know we're just kind of, when you're checking out and you're looking at everything you want to get, this is a great one to add. It is something I now use multiple times a day because I don't just use it on my face. I use it on my face every night on the red setting. But then, if I'm nursing or multitasking, I'll actually just like sometimes I'll just lay it on top of my head for my hair. My hair is getting very thick, by the way, since getting this. Like I thought it was already growing better from like using my terahertz one back here or, all the AO scan stuff, AO youth. Um, but the mask, I think, is next level. Like it's a little crazy. But another way I like to use it is I put the one panel, because you get both panels, you get the face and the neck part. Put one on my lower stomach and then one on my lower back, and then stick the controller in my pocket. And I just walk around the house with my baby, do all the things I need to do dishes. And it supports your nervous system, your spine, your organs. Like you can use it in so many ways. So sorry, we
I
kind
love
of
it.
got off on a tangent about
Well,
that.
we're planning to do Saturday morning Zooms and
Yes.
also show you these webinars and go deeper into each one of these products so you can learn more.
Yeah.
And then we'll be posting these on YouTube, on our YouTube channels. But Katelyn,
Yes.
with the subscription, with becoming a quantum living advocate, they also get access to your Instagram success formula,
Yes.
which I am so thankful that you are teaching us this because the success you've had building this business without talking to anyone. You don't take
Mm-hmm.
calls from anyone. The new younger people, I like to pick up the phone. Those of you who know me, I'm calling you. But to be able to help so many people that you've helped and to have the freedom is amazing. So
Yes.
thank you for making that available to us, included as quantum
Yes.
living advocates.
And that's a paid course that normally people who find me on Instagram and want to know. So that's my one of my biggest asked questions from network marketers, people on social media, people who want to build a business, who want to create income without having to go to a job. They want to know what I'm doing on Instagram. So I finally put it into a course and thought, why don't I just give this to our QLAs for free? Because this is duplicatable. It's it's something that you can take and run with, and I believe everyone can be successful in Solex. It is the most generous compensation plan I've ever seen in any business. So when you sign up, you're going to be earning the same level of income as someone like me.
As we are.
We're both going to be earning 45%
You
of the
start at the
points.
highest pay. You guys start out
Yeah.
at the highest pay. It's not like some of those companies where you have to have 100 sales to get the highest
And then you
commission.
make $20.
It's crazy.
It was
We're
so
super
ridiculous.
grateful.
Yes,
Sup
it's to get the messages like, "Wow, I don't know how I did this, but this is the biggest paycheck I've ever gotten from anything like this." I get
Yeah,
those messages all the time. So when you sign up as a quantum living advocate, you are taken care of from the success and business side of things to using your scanner to and beyond. Like it's amazing.
it's amazing, and some people aren't aware of the tax advantages of being an in-home business. Practitioners who have already gotten their wellness, businesses, like whether chiropractor, acupuncturist, to add in, if all you added in was the inner voice to help balance your patient or your client before you work on them, no matter what your business is, to have
Hmm.
them come in, do inner voice, let them listen to their tones, whether they're getting their teeth done or getting something, hairstylist, massage, any of it. You're going to love adding this in and just up leveling your practice, up leveling your whole
And make your
life.
life easier. If I would have had this
Yeah,
for my massage clients, my lymphatic clients, my practice, I cannot imagine how much easier my life would have been, plus
yeah.
how much more they would have benefited. I mean, it Steven and
And
I talk about, like, we should open a wellness center with all this stuff just because it's so life-changing, but then I see how we can reach so many more people online. I mean,
yeah,
how many people we get to share this with, and anyone can do it. I mean, for QLAs, I always forget to add this in. We are open in the United States, Canada, Australia, and the UK. And if you are in another country and you're interested in opening up the QLA opportunity, all you need to do is get 100 people ready to go, which it sounds like a lot at first, but it's really not that many
yeah.
people. So start talking about it depending on where you are, because you can open up that country. We just need 100 people ready to sign up.
Yeah, and you can still use the AO scan. No, I have people on my team, doctors in other countries where they're not
Yes.
open yet. You can still use the AO scan. You can still use the subscription, but you just will not be able
Anywhere
to
that
get
you have
quantum.
internet. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. So,
Awesome. It's the top of the hour. I am so thankful for all of you. We'll post this on YouTube and look forward to seeing you next Saturday, 10 o'clock, with who knows? What are we going to talk about next? It's going to be
yeah.
awesome.
Yeah. Any questions? Or are we good? I think we're good on questions. And just go to the person who invited you or who
Yeah.
you learned about this Zoom from. We will help you get started. We'll help you know, if you have questions about what you should purchase to get started, let us know, and we will help you. And we're so excited. So excited to
Blessings.
have you join
Thank you,
us.
Caitlin. Thank you
Okay,
all for being here.
much
Okay, have a
love.
wonderful
Goodbye,
Saturday.
everybody.
Bye bye.